Does anyone else here ever imagine living the luxury life of being a YouTuber? Okay, so the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is because I recently started getting into a lot of people's videos about driving these very luxurious cars. And, that made me think about something. Like these people are making thousands upon thousands of dollars while riding around a cool car, and they're making videos about it, and they're just recording it and posting it on YouTube. And that kind of made me think, like, man, these people are really getting thousands of dollars by just driving around in a very luxurious vehicle. Now, yes, one can say, well, Anthony, how the heck am I going to do those videos if I don't have money right now to be spending on a Mercedes-Benz S-Class? Okay, yeah. I mean, that's fair to say because, obviously, if I want to make these videos, I cannot just go to a dealership and request a Mercedes-Benz S-Class car. I just can't, but that made me realize, like, man, these people are really living a luxurious life because they are not only driving a very nice car, but they're also making content that is getting them a lot of views. So that is making me just wonder, man, what is it like to live a luxurious lifestyle like this, where you make videos and that pretty much is your career? Like, you look at a lot of these YouTubers and they spend millions of dollars on their car, on their houses. And if I could just say my opinion, this is just a very small opinion. But you know what? Like, it's cool to have these things, but let's not strive to be materialistic, right? Because that's honestly, a lot of people only strive to be materialistic in this world because they want to show off their car, they want to show off their new house, they want to show people that they're well off, and they post it on Instagram and this and that. And like I said, that is not bad. If you want to do that, go ahead. But a lot of people, they take that as their lifestyle. They want to just show off their luxurious items, and it depends on your mindset. If you're only doing it to show off and you're only doing it because you want the clout and you want the attention, then I just got to say that you have a bad mindset. But if you really worked hard for it and you really just want to just post your car, then go ahead and do that. Is this a very low IQ take? Maybe it is, but maybe a lot of you guys can relate. Let's just not be materialistic. But let's get right back on topic. So living the luxurious lifestyle is something that doesn't really catch my attention. Sure, I would love a Mercedes G-Wagon. Like, for example, I'm just shooting it out there. I'm not saying it's something, that's something dear to my heart. But no, let's just say I were to get all these, ad revenues and sponsorships. I really wouldn't go and get myself a $100,000 car. It's just not something that really catches my attention. But then again, like I said, things could change. But for me, honestly, I wouldn't mind driving these cars just for the sake of making content. So I want to be able to provide for my family this luxurious lifestyle, but at the same time, teach them morals, right? That materialistic things isn't the way to go. Like, don't put all your faith and all your likeliness on materialistic things. Yes, go ahead and just have fun with them because obviously we're in this life and we only live once. But we shouldn't just strive to be materialistic people. So living the luxury lifestyle, in my opinion, is something that I feel like a lot of people strive for, right? Because, no one wants to be poor. If I'm being honest, every single one of you guys do not want to be poor. And I could say that with 100% certainty that if I were to tell you, hey, would you rather have $0 or $100 million? Which one would you take? I can almost guarantee you that 110% of you guys are going to want to say $100 million, right? Because no one likes to be poor. And I'm not saying that to shoot at the poor. Sometimes people just don't take opportunities or, they lose their track in life and, it leads to them being in a rut. But it takes a very strong-willed person to get out of that rut and make a success story on their own life, So, if you're broke or something, hey, I'm just here to remind you that the grass is going to be greener and the sun is going to shine on you one day, and just keep striving, brother, or keep striving, sis. I know you got it. I know you guys can do it. Let's all strive to just build a legacy for our family, for our kids. You know, when we're older, we want people to talk about us, right? I'm sure that a lot of you guys want people to talk about you guys. I'm sure you guys don't want to leave this world saying, man, I didn't contribute nothing to society. I didn't do nothing in this world, and I'm happy with that. No, I guarantee you, a lot of you guys want to make something out of yourself. That's why we have so many entrepreneurs nowadays. That's why we have so many businesses, or a lot of small businesses as well. It's because we're all trying to make ends meet. Sometimes the job that we have isn't enough. So we look for side incomes. We look for side hustles. We look for different streams of income because the economy is just falling apart. And I'm so sorry that I'm just jumping upon topic, but that's really the topics that I love to talk about. You know, like the rabbit hole topics that leads into another one. But I'm gonna try to stay on the focus of the luxurious lifestyle. You know what? Like, you know, if I were to be a full-time YouTuber, I wouldn't mind, you know, getting my own place, right? Like a good house, you know, so I could provide some good security for my wife and for my kids. I don't have kids right now, but in the future. And I would also love to obviously provide for my family members, right? You know, because I want them to also live a good lifestyle, and I also want them to reap, or is that even the word? I want them to also take, I want to share the success, basically what I'm trying to say, you know. So if I'm a full-time YouTuber and a successful YouTuber, and I'm not saying if, I'm saying when I'm a successful YouTuber, I want them to also share in the success that I'm building, right? Because, you know, they're the people that I love. And ultimately, you know, I would also love to, you know, hire a lot of my friends, you know, because who wouldn't love their friends to work for them? Yes, I do agree that sometimes, you know, friendships and business don't really go together, because let's say you do something and your friend backstabs you, or something happens that your friend lets you down, you know, you're going to fire that person, and ultimately it could lead to the relationship being lost. But that's something that you just really need to have a talk with, you know, in the future, if you do plan on hiring your friends and family. So the luxurious lifestyle, it's something that, you know, a lot of us can only dream of right now. You know, if you're a small channel, I'm sure you're dreaming of that lifestyle. I know I'm dreaming of that lifestyle, but like I said, not in a materialistic way, just in a way for me to provide for my family, because, you know, ultimately I want my family and, you know, everyone that I love, I want to provide for them a worry-free life where they could pretty much be retired, right? You know, I want to be able to retire them. And that's just my goal, because I'm looking out for my own people. I'm looking out for people that I love in my life, right? So, you know, let's just work hard, right? That's pretty much all we could do, is just work hard. And with that being said, YouTube is going to recommend 2 videos. Go ahead and look at whichever one you want, watch them, and I'm guaranteed that you're going to like them. Like and subscribe, comment for the algorithm, and I'll see you guys on the next one.